With over 3 decades of experience, she's worked with tech giants like Google and Netflix and many, many more.
Maha Abouelenein.
Maha Abouelenein.
Maha Abouelenein is a global communication strategist.
Maha Abouelenein, welcome Maha. Great. Is there something like specific that you would like to tell women who are watching?
Some of the biggest global world leaders in business are introverts, and they build relationships. My mother got MS when I was 14, at an age where you want to be parented and, taken care of. I was feeding, bathing, clothing. I made a lot of mistakes. I trusted the wrong people. I thought that if you were honest and straightforward, other people were honest and straightforward.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is luck in success?
If I didn't go through that experience, I wouldn't be who I am today. I started as his office manager, ended as his business partner. I drink my coffee, but I like, you're not supposed to have it on an empty stomach. And I'm like, I need to drink something first.
Welcome to another episode of Savoir podcast. I'm your host, Tina Chagouri, and I'm very happy to sit with inspirational, empowering women to talk about not only what they do and their careers and their business, but also maybe their morning routines, the little things, the little health tricks that they have. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and I hope you tune in to the other episodes. Today's episode in specific is going to inspire you for sure. And I think even transform the way you see not just yourself in a business setting, but also at a personal level. And we are going to also dig into the health bit with my very special guest, Maha Abouelenein. Welcome, Maha.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for having me.
Happy.
Thank you,
I'm
Tina.
going to introduce Maha super quickly. مع إنه هي بغنى عن التعريف يعني. This is what we say in Arabic. So Maha Abouelenein is a best-selling author for her book and one of my favorite books, 7 Rules of Self-Reliance, and a powerhouse in global communications. At the age of 14, Maha became her parents' primary caregiver, and I'm sure it was an experience that shaped a lot of her personality. We will talk about this in a minute. With over 3 decades of experience, she's worked with tech giants like Google and Netflix and many, many more. You have been named the most influential woman in Dubai and Forbes Power Woman of the Middle East. I'm starstruck now.
Thank you.
Born to Egyptian parents, raised in the US, Maha brings a unique perspective, and we notice it in the book, on bridging cultures and taking advantage, actually, of this amazing mix. Today, she's here to share her insight on personal transformation, building resilience, and we are going to try, me and her, to teach you or show you how to apply the self-reliance rules on your health, especially as women. And I know many of you will benefit so much from today's talk. Maha, أهلا وسهلا.
أهلا وسهلا فيكي.
Again, super happy to have you.
أنا أكتر.
When I first started reading your book, I hadn't known you before. I wasn't following you on Instagram. I didn't know your story. I don't know who told me to get the book. So I started reading the book and I felt a kind of a warm connection with you. Maybe because I did experience some of the things you experienced at a personal level in your life. And just as a background, because we just met, me and you. So between 2019 and today, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I did the whole treatment of breast cancer. I lost my father, and then I lost my husband, and then I lost my mother recently. And all through these phases, the number one question I would get is, how do you do it? Tab, how do you do it? Tab, what do you do? How can you wake up in the morning? And when I started reading the book, حسيت إنه I found words to my feelings. Yani I never thought of self-reliance as a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Until you actually say to yourself, Wallah, I am self-reliant. And this is why I had to mention this, because I know that many will relate to all the stories that we're going to tell today. I want to know from you, Maha, having done or having been through what you've been in with your parents at an early age, the illness, the loss, how much did it shape you? How deep did it affect you? And how much of it is behind this book?
I mean, a big part of my story is my parents. My mother got MS when I was 14, at an age where you want to be parented and, taken care of. I was feeding, bathing, clothing, cheering her up, taking her to therapy, taking care of my mother. And then my father got ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, which is extraordinarily debilitating. And I was young. I was like, I'm supposed to be living my best years from 14 until I was 37. My parents were sick and I was taking care of them that whole time. And I think so much of the inspiration of the challenges that I've been through, I was like, how do I turn these setbacks into comebacks and what can I learn from it? I learned about empathy. I learned about patience. I learned about perspective. If I'm having a bad day, I just remember they couldn't get up and put their feet on the ground and get out of bed and walk. That was a very simple thing for you and me, but for them, they couldn't do that. فطبعا it shaped me tremendously. But I also learned that I can't let everything that happens to me define me. I was like, okay, is that my life? I'm just going to become a caretaker. Is that all I'm going to be doing in my life? And then I'm going to sacrifice for others and put myself always last because I have to take care of them and make their medical decisions and pay for things. And it's a responsibility at a very young age that I didn't see coming. And it impacted my life in so many ways. I never got married. I never met I just, so many things changed for me about living overseas and living in Egypt and moving to Dubai that I didn't foresee happening in my life. But it was the best thing that happened to me. If I didn't go through that experience, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Exactly.
And it made me stronger. It made me learn how to rely on myself. It learned to give me confidence. It taught me how to believe in myself. It taught me how to work hard. It taught me how to use my ambition and power in different ways. So everything good came from some of the hardest things that happened to me.
Wow. And how do you see that it affected your relationships with others? Because I have a feeling, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, that you did all of this alone. I know you have a sister.
Yeah.
Your sister was, I think, living in another state.
She lived in the US and I was living in Egypt taking care of my parents. Yeah.
So obviously there is support there, but the day-to-day, literally the day-to-day on your own, would you be more resistant to someone helping you, or did you think that it's just let me control everything, let me do everything the way I know?
No, yeah, I couldn't do that. You can't do anything in this life alone. I didn't. I mean, my sister lived overseas. She didn't live with me for many of the years that my parents were sick, but I talked to her every single day. She knew everything happening in the house. She knew how mom was, how dad was, who was having a good day, who was having a bad. I'm very close to her. I couldn't have gotten through that whole period if I didn't talk to her every single day. That was my big support, was her, even though we weren't in the same city or state or country for the most of that time period. And I think secondly, you can't do anything alone. And I think a lot of times we're don't want to ask for help, or we want to I got this. The concept of self-reliance is not I should rely on myself only because I know best and I'm the only one who can do it. When you read the book, you're like, oh, this is what she means by self-reliance. Is how do I use my own power? How do I invest in myself? How do I build my own relationships? How do I build my own brand? You can do things without having to have people waiting for people to do things for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned. If I didn't know I could do things because nobody asked me to do them. And then when I got asked to do things I never thought I was capable of doing, I could do it because I can work hard. I'm smart. I can figure it out. And you can too. And that's the message of the book, is that I don't come from a family with a family business or money, but I'm smart. I'm willing to work hard. I'm willing to use my education and use my muscles and my brain to do some effort. And that's just all the difference it takes sometimes.
That's very interesting. And I remember in the book when you mentioned joining the Egyptian
AmCham.
Exactly. The way it happened. And I know you always talk about it in interviews, but it's so inspiring for someone who hasn't read the book yet.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more because I think it was one of those changing moments in your life, one of those pivotal moments, you would say?
Yeah, so I moved. I was living in the U.S., born, raised in the U.S., lived there, was working, had a great job, living my best life. Then my parents, who had lived in the U.S. for almost 30 some years, said, we're going to go back to Egypt now. We're not going to stay in the U.S. forever. And my parents were sick, so I moved back with my parents to Egypt. And Egypt for me was someplace I went on vacation. Like, didn't speak Arabic, didn't have friends, don't have a network, really have no identity whatsoever. Like, I'm Egyptian and I look Egyptian and I sound Egyptian, but I don't have any connection.
I don't feel Egyptian.
Yeah, I don't feel it. Like, I just lived in the US my whole life and just been in the States. So I moved to Egypt and I can't find a job because I need to find a job. Like, I'm 27, I'm working, I was professional in the US. So I really tried to apply like at a Pepsi, a Coca-Cola, a P&G. Like, I'm like, I need to work in an American company where I can feel comfortable. I couldn't find a job. And I got offered to be a secretary for a billionaire, Naguib Sawiris, who many people know. And I was devastated. I was like, I don't want to be a secretary. Like, I'm overqualified. Like, I have a master's degree. I have all this experience working in the US. How will I take this role where I feel like I think I can do more things or I'm more capable of doing other things? And I went home that day and I told my dad that I got offered this job to be the secretary. And he was like, you go tomorrow and you accept that job. And I was devastated. And he's like, I'm like, why do you think I should take this job? And he's like, first of all, you just moved here. You don't know anybody.
Exactly.
You need to put your head down and put in the hard work. You need to show him the value that you can create for him. You have to play by their rules, learn the business, learn the culture, build relationships, become a networker, cultivate an understanding of who you are and be capable of building relationships with people and put aside your ego and you be more humble and put the hard work and put your head down. And the next day I went and I accepted the job and I sat outside his office and I was like, answering phones, filing paper, what secretaries do, which is a formidable job. But I just thought at my time, I was like, I'm too, good for this. I was wrong. And me taking that job to be his secretary changed my life forever. I learned how to build relationships. I learned how to network. I learned about what's it like to run a company, what does a billionaire do every single day? What's the work ethic it takes, the loyalty it takes, the effort that it takes, the relationships. I worked in telecoms and tech and in the beginning of the internet in the Middle East. It was like an extraordinary time to be alive and witness that. I started as his office manager, ended as his business partner.
Amazing. And to think that you're going to say no to the job.
And I didn't have that foresight that my dad had. He was a big impact in my life.
Yeah, I was going to ask,
many things that happened to me.
I was going to ask because I think your first rule is, the first rule is something your dad used to tell you. Stay low and keep moving.
Yeah, he was always like saying, don't worry about getting credit for things. Don't worry about, getting the accolades and the recognition. He's like, put your head down and put in the hard work. And hard work will speak for itself because people say, who did that? And then people will ask, who did that extraordinary piece? You can say, Maha did it. But he was just like, put in the work. If you put in the effort and you really dedicate yourself to something, whether it's eating better, living, sleeping more, eating healthy, being a good friend, showing up for people, whatever you're going to put effort into, you're going to get the results. But you can't expect the results if you're not willing to put in the hard work.
Exactly. And this is what brings me to the next section that I think we will benefit so much from is health, right?
Of course.
Because it's, as a health professional myself, sometimes I fall in the trap of giving advice, like tell them what to do. But it's not always about the knowledge. It's not always about why is this bad or why should I do this. You need to give them the strategies and help them, apply
exactly.
it. And this rule in specific, stay low and keep moving. And what you just mentioned, it's the little things that add up.
The small things become
exactly. And we always say nothing changes if nothing changes. You can't expect results if everything is the same in your kitchen and in your fridge and in your daily habits. So yes, definitely this applies so much to people trying to change behaviors. What do you think is like a major مش غلطة يعني, but a major something that you shouldn't have done or in different circumstances you wouldn't have done in this path that maybe delayed a bit the progress or maybe put you behind in something? Like, is there anything, I wouldn't say you regret because I'm sure you don't regret anything, but is there anything that you could have done better?
Yeah, like when I first moved here, like there's so much about the business culture and acumen in the Middle East I didn't understand. I made a lot of mistakes. Mm-hmm. I trusted the wrong people. I thought that if you were honest and straightforward, other people were honest and straightforward. I didn't understand the relationship, how important relationships were, and all business is personal. And so it was like when I first moved to the Egypt, it was since 1997 also. It's like, get down to business. And like, you can't do that. You need to like break bread and have tea and get to know them. And, you know, in the US, it's like results, go, you know, get things done. And I'm like, it's like being a bull in a china store. You have to be very delicate and learn how to do it. So that was a really big lesson that I learned about how to work at the speed and culture of the place where you were at, and take maybe the skills and experience of stuff that I got growing up in the US. But really now I'm helping business people land in the Middle East properly. All business is personal. You know, how to delicately understand the culture, how to, you know, talk to people, how to build a relationship. And it matters. It matters. Like if you want to do business in this part of the world, you have to understand the culture and the people and play at their speed, not yours.
Yeah, I agree. And we do see a lot of times it's the culture, it's the change in culture. Even for someone who's just moved to Dubai or just moved to the Middle East from somewhere else. And what you say in your book is also very interesting. You are the average of the 5 people
that you spend time with. Yeah.
And this is so true.
Yeah, you should audit who's in your circle. So try to be around people who are motivated or inspired or are healthy or are good for you to be around, because they're not draining. They're not batteries that are draining your energy, right? You want people in your life that you could lean on. Like who you spend your time with is who you become more like.
Yeah. And it's also how, for instance, let's take, for example, the question of health or weight loss, or someone who's struggling with weight. This is where the importance of having this discussion with the family, or having this discussion with the friends, with the best friends, because we tend to hide. For instance, let's say a woman is just struggling with weight and she's seeing a dietitian, and the last thing she wants is when she goes out in public to say, no, I can't eat this, I should eat this, I'm not, because she doesn't want to be the party pooper, or she doesn't want to be the one. Yes, exactly, call attention. But this is the thing. Why not be the one who positively influences others? Yeah. And especially with teenagers, I work a lot with teenagers. And why don't you be the one who is cool and, you know, take salads to school? Why do you have to? So yeah, I think if we spread the word more about the importance of being surrounded with the right people, and if sometimes they would tell you, but these are my friends, I'm not going to change my friends because I'm looking into, like, I have a different journey, but
set boundaries then. Set boundaries around the ones that are a little bit not the positive influence, or if they're going out to eat and drink a lot and you just don't want to be healthy and that's not your lifestyle. Yeah. Like I have a good friend, I'm like, I want to, like, instead of going out to eat, let's go for a walk. Yeah. Can we go for a walk and do coffee after? And so she's like, great, I'd love to do that. So like, I really want to pick the activities with the people that are going to do the things that are more my lifestyle of, I don't want to have a late dinner. I'd rather get up early and go for a 7 a.m. walk with my friend and get an hour of exercise in, and B, you know, move a little bit.
Which is something you just told me you did this morning.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah.
How healthy are you in your life in general?
I'm much better now.
Yeah.
Like, movement is part of my day. Like I prioritize the workout first thing in the morning to signal to myself and to my brain that I'm the most important thing. Like if I'm not healthy, I can't do anything. So that's a big change for me, is like I make sure I do my workouts in the morning.
I like that. Can you repeat that? So you do your workout in the morning to signal to your brain
that I'm the most important priority of the day, because if I'm not healthy, then I can't do anything in my life. So I always put it first, so that I always block that on my schedule and in my day. Everyone can see on my calendar, like I'm blocked in the morning so I can work out. That's the first thing. Second thing, and just a big change I've made in the last probably like 3 or 4 years, is sleep. Mm-hmm. I used to always just like try to be more productive and just cut on sleep, but that actually is counterproductive. So actually we're going to do a post about it, I think today or tomorrow, about like how it's been a game changer for me. Like if I don't get my sleep, then I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be productive. I'm going to eat poorly. So sleep is a really, really, really important part of my health.
How did you manage to adjust it? Because that's the most difficult part.
Staying up late is just like a waste of time. Like what am I staying up late doing?
Yeah.
Like I started to audit, like, why am I going to bed so late? Mm-hmm. What am I doing up until 11:30 or 12 o'clock at night? Like nothing important. Nothing important.
And then you experienced when you sleep early and wake up earlier that you're more productive.
Yeah, and I like getting up earlier now. So I think movement is a big part. Sleep is a big part. I have a really like specific vitamin kind of regimen now for supplements of things that I like to take. You know, I don't get all the nutrients sometimes I want in my food, but I want to get extra supplements. Like there's so much information there out now about longevity and health and what we can be doing. And I try to get into the sauna like at least 4 times a week.
Amazing. There's so much information, definitely. And it's very interesting because someone like you who's on the go, very busy, one day in New York, next day in Dubai, you can easily fall in the trap of, let's go out for dinner, let's have a drink, let's do this, let's do that. And
I don't. I mean, one of the things that what I do when I come here, and I used to do this, is I would come to Dubai and then work Dubai hours 9 to 6 or whatever, then go for a dinner. And then by 9 o'clock at night, it's the US is just waking up, and then work from 9 p.m. until like maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. I don't do that anymore. Like I don't work 2 time zones. Like if I'm here, I focus on this schedule and this time zone. And I used to do that, burn both ends, and it's no good for anybody.
And I'm sure the changes that you've done boosted your productivity, your mood.
Yeah, I'm happier.
Yeah. Let's talk more about the other rules of your book, and let's see how we can apply them. So we spoke about rule number 1, stay low, keep moving. Oh, I love the rule number 3, don't be a waiter.
Yes.
I loved it. Okay. Tell us a bit more about it, and then I'll ask you the question that applies to it.
So don't be a waiter. Somebody said that to me once. It's like, Maha, you're waiting. I'm like, what? And he's like, you're waiting for Mr. Right. You're waiting for your boss to give you the project that's going to make you a rock star. You're waiting until you get more money in the bank account. You're waiting until you lose weight. You're waiting for life. Like, stop waiting for things. Stop waiting because you fear judgment or people are going to ask you, why are you doing this? Stop waiting because you fear failure. Stop waiting because you fear like you're not going to make it or you can't do it or you need all your ducks in a row. We get stuck waiting. And out of all the chapters in the book, the most comments I get is on this one, is that I didn't realize I was a waiter. I didn't realize that I was waiting. I know I have potential. I know I can do more. I know I want to do more with my life. I know I'm smart and I'm capable of ambitions of things I want to achieve. I just don't do them because I'm just waiting. And we don't realize that we're waiting. We just live life. We're just going through the motions. We're doing our routines. We don't realize we're in waiting mode. But in the back of our mind, we are waiting for something to happen that's going to trigger us to get that next step.
Absolutely. What was your changing point? What was your pivotal moment?
That was when he told me that I was like, I don't want to be a waiter. That night I went home very upset. Like then I was like, I'm like, I need to go from being a waiter to a creator. What are the things I want to instead of waiting for someone to give me an opportunity, how can I create those things in my life?
How did you break this?
Well, it was like, okay, I'm missing skills. Okay, what are the skills I'm needing to do those things? I need to reverse engineer. The things that I want to create in my life can't just happen from today to tomorrow. I need to do things to get there. Like, okay, I'm missing certain skills. Well, how do I get those skills? I can learn myself. I can get online. I can go get a course. I can talk to someone. I'm missing experience. Okay, what do I need to do to get that experience? Can I go switch jobs? Can I go talk to somebody? Can someone give me an opportunity to get that experience working in that industry? And then I thought about skills and experience, and I was like, relationships. I don't really know many people in this field or in this area. And one of the rules of the book, which we're going to get to probably later, is how do you build a relationships? How do you have a network? Because I want to rely on myself to have relationships. I don't want to have to say, oh, Tina, can you borrow me some of those relationships that you spent a lifetime building up? And can I activate your network for my needs?
So true.
I want to rely on myself to know how to have my own relationships. I should deserve to have relationships. I'm capable of having the right relationships. What do you have that I don't? I just have to work hard to get it. And that's it. That's the difference.
Wow.
It's not about you have a different education or you have a different upbringing.
Or you're lucky.
Yeah. It's are you willing to work hard? Then you can do it.
Growing up, you were more of an introvert or an extrovert, Maha?
I was always an extrovert. My sister is the exact opposite of me. She's a complete introvert. I was always an extrovert. Like I always liked, performing and talking and doing. I was always an extrovert.
But how would you help an introvert build those relationships or create this PR or be out there or these connections, which you are the queen of connections.
Yeah, so
which we'll talk to in a bit.
I do talk about it in the book. Like if you're an introvert, there's a lot of tips and tricks of things you can do. And I even talked about it this morning on the Chris Fade show, that if you are going to go to an event, don't go by yourself. Take somebody with you. So you have someone to come sit next to when you come back during the networking breaks or during coffees or lunches. Let's say you and I meet at an event or we meet somewhere in public, but I'm an introvert. I don't really want to try to engage and have the conversation. We might exchange numbers and then have it in a different quiet location, go for a walk or a quiet coffee shop, something more my speed. Like I really think that if you're introverted, some of the biggest global world leaders in business are introverts, and they build relationships because they do it at their speed. They have a high level of self-awareness of what they're capable of and what they're comfortable doing, and they stick to what they're authentically comfortable doing.
Yeah. So that's a nice tip, actually. That's a good tip. That makes me think about my kids, for instance. When I ask them to join a new activity, the first thing they want is my friend going to do it? Do I know someone there? And it's funny because kids at this very young age try to create the safety
But
cocoon for them.
I always talk about that. So if you're not confident in something, that if you're going to be waiting till you get confident, you're never going to do it. Mm-hmm. So if you just take action, that will give you the confidence.
Even if there's a possibility to fail.
Yeah, because you just need to try something. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't know if you're capable of doing it, you're never going to know unless you do try it. Yeah. But the key to building your confidence is taking action.
Yeah. Many of the stories that you tell in the book are also related to how you create and curate these trips for very influential people, be it in the Middle East or in the States. And then sometimes you work for free for months and then you bring them. And then this is how you start gaining access and getting to know them and giving them like a taste of what Maha can give you or what your company can do. Here's a question. If you were to curate the perfect trip or the perfect meeting or the perfect event for Maha, where would it be? Who would be in that room? And what would you be creating then? What is it?
In Dubai?
Anywhere in the world.
Well, first of all, no one's ever asked me this question. I mean, first of all, I like meeting people. So I want to be in a room where I can talk to people. I love good food, so I want to be in a good restaurant. That's definitely key. And I think it's all about the level of the relationships and the people that are there. Like I like going into a room full of strangers to meet people. I really do.
Oh, you do?
I think it's very odd because a lot of people think that's a daunting thing, but like I like to do it. I like to see who can I meet? How do I strike a conversation? How do I introduce myself? What's the one thing I can do to get their attention? What's the one thing I can say that would captivate them? How do I tell a good story? I feel like first of all, my whole career is communication. So that's my job is to know how to be good at communicating. But I like the challenge of like, I don't know anybody. Will I be able to meet anybody? And if so, who is that connection or spark that I can walk out with? So for me, I think the essential things for me would be, having people that I can connect to with and relate to or build a network with relationship. And then, doing something over good food always helps.
I'll ask you about the food in a bit. Is there a personality that you really want to meet?
There's one person, I work with a lot of like business people and celebrities and athletes and a lot of famous people. And there's only one person I really, 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 really want to meet. And it's Mindy Kaling. Oh. Mindy Kaling she's an actress, but she's a screenwriter and she does a lot of production and television and she does comedy. And I just think she's brilliant. So
Hopefully.
Mindy, if you're watching, I really want to meet Mindy Kaling. I'm putting it on the universe.
Do you have any common connections with Mindy?
No, I don't. But like it's going to happen.
It will happen.
You put it out there. I put it out there now. Yeah,
exactly. I want to talk about investing in yourself.
Yes.
Now, what you mentioned earlier is when you feel there's a gap somewhere and you want to fill it, or you want to achieve something, but you lack the skills or you lack the knowledge, you go and you look for it and you do the trainings and all of it. Now, when it comes to health,
yes,
right? And I want to know more about how much you think investing in our health is, obviously it's very important, but how little people know of the importance of investing in one's health.
It's the only thing that matters.
Exactly. Now, one that's based on the experience you had with your parents, but also at a personal level, someone successful, productive, who wants to live longer. How much is a lot and how little is too little? Because me saying it will always sound like preaching, but from someone in the business field, what is investing in your health?
I mean, think about it. We're going to live longer than we ever have lived before. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be capable at our older ages, where, we used to think about our parents, they would get old and they would not lifting weights. Now you see 60, 70-year-olds lifting weights. Like, one of the things that I really integrated in my health, I'm 55. I lift weights like 3 or 4 times a week. Like, it's really, really important. And I'm like, it was not a nice thing to do so I can work out. Like, it's really important to do weight-bearing exercises, lifting weights. I do that regularly. I find like I want to take advantage of all the information that's out there so I can live a healthier life where I'm not struggling to pick things up and to move things. And we are going to live longer. So I want to live longer in a healthier way than to be worried about, if you don't pay attention to your health, you're going to be forced to pay attention to it because you're going to be in the hospital and you're going to be sick. And I lived that for most of my life. I don't want to be in hospitals and dealing with illnesses that I saw my parents go through, and many of my other friends with their parents. So I just feel like that's why I pay attention to sleep. What kind of things am I eating? My nutrition is good, but I think it can be better. Like, I feel like there's so much stuff out there that I want to learn from about oils and things I shouldn't put in my food, and I still like French fries and I shouldn't, and I have high cholesterol, so I want to make sure that I
Do you cook?
I do cook. I love cooking. I hate the cleaning up part.
But you cook.
I do cook,
So if there's someone to clean, you're happy to...
Yeah, but in America, we don't have housekeepers.
Yeah.
It's not like here.
And so you end up not... of course, there's nowhere like here.
Yeah.
So you end up cooking, so you end up not cooking.
Clean. No, I cook and I clean.
Yeah.
I just don't like that part of it.
Do you follow any special regime? Like, are you vegetarian, pescatarian?
No.
You eat everything?
I eat everything.
Do you eat mostly Western food or Arab, Egyptian?
Honestly, I don't eat enough Egyptian or Arabic food when I live in the States now, so I don't get enough of it. But yeah, I mean, if I want it, I have to cook it. So it's like having to teach myself how to make all the things. But yeah, that's why I like coming home. I'm like, I can eat all the food here that I don't get back there.
Coming home as in here?
Yeah, when I'm in Dubai or Egypt.
How long did you live in Dubai?
23 years. I was Egypt and Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and do you visit Egypt very often?
Yeah, a lot.
You have family and friends there?
I have aunts, uncles, cousins, everything there.
Yeah. I prepared some rapid fire questions.
Oh, let's do it.
Which are fun. We're going to do them. Let me just see if there's anything else we missed. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we did.
Is there something like specific that you would like to tell women who are watching in this part of the world? She doesn't have to be working. Maybe she's not working. Maybe she's not she doesn't have a professional career. Maybe she's a stay-at-home mom. Maybe she's a student. Like something to just spark,
I just find and I want them, obviously, I think if they read the book, I think they'll get a lot of inspiration for things that they're capable of doing. But use your voice. Everybody has a story. Find your narrative and use it. Whether you are, at stay-at-home mom is the hardest job. The hardest job. And I feel like there's so much value in what you're capable of doing and your skills and how you're contributing to your household. And I think that's such a rewarding thing to do. And I just feel, I always talk to people about being curious, finding curiosity in anything that you're doing. And the internet has a tremendous amount of resources, free podcasts and YouTube videos. Everything's for free. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of learning. I like to consume different things in different formats. So I listen to a lot of medical podcasts because I like to consume that information of learning through listening to Dr. Mark Hyman's podcast, your podcast. Learning about health through podcasts is one of the ways I consume that. Other things I like to read in books. Business tips, I'll read it in a book. YouTube videos, I'll go to learn about something else. So I really find that we have access to information, take advantage of it, learn as much as you can, but be curious about the things that are happening around you because you don't know where the opportunity might be that might spark your curiosity.
Very interesting. So find your thing, basically. Where you want to do what. I like that. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
So the first set is a yes or no.
Okay.
Okay. Is self-reliance something you're born with or you learn it?
It's something you learn.
Something you learn. And then you read the book and then this is how you learn it. Would you rather be the smartest person in the room or the most connected?
The most connected.
How come? Like, don't you think
because
that
relationships are so important.
Yeah.
Like, we can't get anywhere in life without relationships.
Okay. Yes, I agree. What's more important for success? Natural talent, hard work, network, or timing?
Hard work.
Hard work.
Every single time.
Yeah. What's your go-to power outfit?
All black, I think. I don't know. My it's a statement necklace usually.
Yeah. Yeah, you do put statement necklaces.
I do wear
They're
a
very
statement
nice.
necklace. Yeah.
What's the first app you check in the morning when you wake up?
Actually, it's so funny. It's plannable. It has to do with my content. My team has this app that they make me that we use, so we use that. Plannable.
Okay. All right. It's not Instagram or
no.
Okay. Fill in the blank. The biggest mistake people make in personal branding is
that they think they need to be like persona and they need to act and they need to create an identity. It's just be yourself.
Okay. Good one. Among all the influential people I have met, Tak is the one who changed the curve of my career the most significantly.
Nagib Sawiris.
Okay. My guilty pleasure food is
dark chocolate.
That's not guilty.
I know, but like I have
every day.
I carry around. It's probably not in this bag because I ate it, but I have these coconut dark chocolate things that I pack them when I come from the States. Yeah. My bag has a bag of those. They're
nice.
called Unreal. They're only 70 calories, but they're dark chocolate and coconut.
Yeah,
and it just
I can imagine.
Gives me my little
I love
boost.
dark chocolate. My non-negotiable daily health habit is
I have to walk every day.
You walk every day.
Yeah.
For how long? Doesn't matter.
Well, I started watching. I'm not wearing it today, but my Apple Watch. So I'm trying to get. I definitely want to close my rings and get 10,000 steps a day.
Amazing. Well done. The most overrated, in your opinion, the most overrated health trend?
Celery juice.
Yeah.
Is that really good for you? I tried it. It did nothing for me. It did nothing for me. I think green juice in general is good for you, but like that celery juice thing that everyone was doing, I was like,
I mean, it doesn't solve all your medical problems like they claim. It's a nice anti-inflammatory every now and then, but yes, no, it's not. It is overrated.
What's your point of view on the lemon water with Himalayan sea salt every morning, hot lemon water before you have coffee?
Amazing.
Good?
Yeah, unless you have an active ulcer. Or you're diagnosed with ulcer, you shouldn't. But otherwise, be it this or be it like a teaspoon of organic apple cider vinegar and warm glass of water, great. It's great to rebalance the acidity of your stomach and it's good
toxins,
and toxins and stabilizing blood sugar.
That's one habit I'm really bad at is like I want to drink coffee first thing in the morning. I'm like, I have to drink water first.
Yeah. I mean, this alone, if you start it, it makes a huge difference. You'll see.
I know, and I know it. I know it.
But you already are doing a lot, so it's fine. I always say we can't be 100% healthy and good. 80% is good enough. 20% you do
you
your
guilty
live your
pleasures.
Life. Yeah. If coffee
life.
is...
I drink my coffee,
morning,
but I like, you're not supposed to have it on an empty stomach. And I'm like, I need to drink something first.
Yeah. Maybe you started when you're back now.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is luck in success?
I mean, luck is a lot to do with timing, so it is important.
8, 7, 6, how important? 10?
8.
8, that's a lot. How difficult was writing your first book?
It wasn't as hard as I thought the mountain was going to be. Like it was a goal for me for a very long time. And I'm like, I don't have time to sit and write in chunks of time. And what's it going to be about? And how do I structure it? And it took me about 6 or 7 months to think about the structure. And then I wrote it like in 2. Like I just
really
banged it out. Yeah, it was so much fun.
Really?
Yeah, because I knew in my whole life, I was like, I have a story, I want to tell it. But then I was like, what are the stories I'm going to put in the book? I made like a big Post-it note on my thing, and I wrote down, I want to talk about the job with Naguib, I want to talk about Google, I want to talk about, there's certain things that happened in my life that were very unique to my circumstances that I'm like, I think this be interesting to share. Plus, when you share a personal story, it gives context and texture. So many people read the book and said, I felt like I was talking to my sister. I felt like I was their sister, which I love because I want to be personable and approachable, and I want to be as if we're talking over coffee or tea or whatever. So it was fun. I'm actually going to do another one. I never thought I'd write another book.
I can't wait. You started?
Not yet, but
I can't
in a couple
wait.
weeks, we're going to put together the
Listen, it's
posters.
definitely, this is the thing, that when you read the story, when you read the book of Maha, you feel you're very relatable in your stories and the way you put your stories. And yes, I agree. When you link the rule to a personal experience, and sometimes it's not personal, sometimes you give examples of people we know or companies we know, it becomes
clicks.
so, it makes so much sense.
So much about what I have gone through, so many people have gone through in the same fashion, taking care of your parents, obligations with your family, having to do a lot of responsibility that you didn't think you were going to have to do.
100%. So you would say it's a 5 over 10? Difficulty writing the book. That's nice. That's encouraging, actually.
Yeah.
How much did speaking Arabic and understanding Arabic helped you in global business? Do you think it did?
A lot.
So it was an asset.
Yeah, for sure.
So for all the kids who are not speaking Arabic, to my kids,
it's important. It's really important.
Yeah. Emails or phone calls?
Phone calls.
Really? I think you would be one of very few.
I call people. I'm sure they're like, "Why is she calling me?" I'm like, "Because I want to talk to somebody."
I love that. Have you ever tried a crazy diet trend?
I mean, I've tried. Everybody's tried every diet trend. I'm just trying to think what's considered a crazy one.
Craziest, as in you really got sick. Like no one should try it.
No.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not that big of a trend chaser.
Yeah.
But like I did try keto, but it was like I can't like eat that much protein 24/7.
Yeah. We spoke about sleep. I had put one about sleep. We spoke about how important sleep is in your routine. Yeah, we did cover everything, actually. I'm so happy. We did cover and we finished ahead of time.
You're amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Maha, really. I'm so happy that I'm so happy that I read your book and I have all my notes and post-its. I use it. And it inspired me so much. And you're very inspiring.
Thank you.
I know you're doing the Savvy Hour. Right?
Yes.
You're launching your Savvy Hour.
I'm doing online coaching. If anyone wants to join me, it's 6 months. I'll go spend time with you working on stuff. I'd love people to join it.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's it. Read the book and you will know all the stories, everything there is to know about Maha.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to come. I know how busy you are. I hope you enjoyed the hour as much as I did. And I hope to see you soon. And good luck in everything you're doing in the next 2-3 days.
Yeah, we will see each other on the next trip in Kavan. I promise.
Thank you.
Thank you.